Hey everybody, I finally succeeded in installing this battery tray. I'm going to give all the info you need. I'm certainly not recommending the brand or the place in Hallam for their customer service or anything like it, but I decided to pull my finger out and spend the hours it takes to modify and reinvent this battery kit to get it installed. So I'm going to give you all the little tips and tricks and things I did that can be used for general battery or snorkel installation to avoid rust and corrosion, so you keep your Toyota and don't turn it into some cheap scrap metal vehicle. First thing you do if you buy a tray like this, whether it's this brand or another, that they could vary a little bit, or it could be just be a copy and it's going to be made in China, it's cheap. Some people are going to say you get what you pay for, absolutely, but you can pay a lot of money for the same thing and it doesn't really work that well. This is a copy of other things, I would assume. That's what it seems to be to me. You know how it works. First thing you do with these instructions is screw them up into a nice tight ball and put it aside ready to start your next campfire. This is if you've got a 120 V6 or you're going to get one and you want to try and convert it into a diesel touring vehicle, just joking, into a touring vehicle, because the diesel's actually got the room. It's kind of like built for it, you know what I mean? But anyway, they must know that diesel efficiency and carrying extra fuel, this one, maybe it's not meant to be for camping, I don't know. I don't want to upset anyone. That's what I'm going to do with it. I know a lot of people got these dual batteries installed, so let's go through it all. You need to remove your power steering. There's 3 bolts, just get that right out of the way. There's an earth strap, you need to get that out of the way. Anything here, basically you need to get it out of the way. Your top precaution is whatever you do not undo that bolt there on the aircon pipe, because that'll let all the gas out and you'll be in all sorts of trouble. Now this is my step-by-step. I can't remember everything, but I tell you what, it's going to be a damn sight better than those instructions. The bits and pieces included in the kit, you use most of it. You can really make do. You just got to take your time and sort of reinvent the wheel a little bit, because the instructions are pathetic and some of the components just don't work. They say to pass the power steering reservoir over and under and over, whatever. Waste of time. Use this bracket, these brackets. I don't know about these brackets, they're left over. You know, I never really like these anyway. I might use them for now, but I'll put nylocks on there if I've got the ones with the right thread, or I'll just upgrade them to some better ones. And this may or may not get used, because I want to use the K-on fuse holder, and these holes are set at a different hole to what K-ons are. So it seems like this is a little bit out of spec too. The main component you are using is the battery tray itself. The first thing you do when you get out of the box, you need to mount the power steering reservoir mounting bracket onto it. And my tips are, you use those, what they call weld bolts. They're the ones that pull in, they've got little pins on them. Now, normally I'd want to have the bolts facing out so it doesn't hit the battery, right? But in this case, if you've got the bolt facing out around here, it's right near the aircon pipe, and I don't want the other end of the bolt. So I faced the bolt. The weld bolt is on the outside, the nut's on the inside. After I've tightened it up, I've cut the bolt off. I've put some black paint on it to help with rust and corrosion. On this one, it was clear on the other side to put the weld bolt sticking out there without hitting anything. So I put the weld bolt through this way to keep it clear of this side. And while I was painting, of course, it got painted. Tighten that up and worry about the rest later, how you got to rework it and bend it to suit you. And hopefully over time, it just doesn't bend and break through across here. But let's see, there's not that much weight and vibration here, should be right. You're also going to use this bracket here. So take the front bracket off your air intake duct and just put that all aside for now. You're going to reuse the bolts on this bracket. That's the configuration, the way it goes, just so you know what it looks like. And yep, you'll see a lot of copperies and paint and inox, you know, MX4, the marine one, I've sprayed all over. And you're going to use the long bolt here. You've got to take this bolt out the wiring loom. And the earth, if you wondered where I put it, I just put it here like that, because there's an earth strap there. And it comes along neatly here, and I put a nice little zip tie somewhere here anyway, there it is, and it just sits like that. And there's a little bracket that I left sitting there in case I ever want to reverse it. I can spin that around whichever way I want. It's just going to sit there out of the way, and then that wire is nowhere near in the way of your dipstick, and good for the power steering. You've got clearance to your air duct when you set it up right, and you've actually got clearance to all your belts and hoses down here. There's a good couple of fingers there, because this hose here is actually pushing on, just lightly pushing on that metal pipe there, so it can't actually get down to your pulley, which is good. There was no need to pass any power steering over or under anything on this model. Your aircon pipe there, I gave it a slight rework and bent it back in to make sure it was sitting in this clip here. So you want a little bit of pressure pushing in there. So when you remove this and this bracket from the vehicle, which is under here, and you push it across slightly that way, there's things you need to do. I'll remove this tank out of the way because you need to make sure you've got a bit of clearance there as well. Works out quite well. It's quite solidly mounted. You can see it's not going to hit anything there, and it's got enough clearance. What did I do? I just used the original flat bracket on the bottom. The little hook on it, I just flattened out, even though I didn't need to, because I mounted that underneath. I put a nylock nut on the M6. I used one of their Phillips heads they supplied, so it's flat on the bottom, flat on the top for the battery. I'm going to put some rubber in here and put a battery in soon. I'm just running through everything. But this is really solid. It's up alongside there. It's not rubbing on anything. That's tight with a nylock. That's nice and tight. I've made sure it's got a bit of clearance to the tray so nothing's rubbing. There's all this, everything's painted and oiled and greased, whatever. Just remember, battery's battery acid, not that I'm going to plan to have much. That's what all this is, all inox, it'll all clean up, wash off later. I just want it to soak in and sort of treat all the materials and help with that, all that corrosion prevention. No need to try and tighten that up. Just do not touch that, whatever you do. It's a bit like the top of the radiator on the 150 Prados, you know, and the 120, or even the one, yeah, it seems to be a bigger problem on the 150s. Just don't touch it. Don't touch that, right? So tight, tight, tight. So that's how I mounted that. I didn't use any brackets. That's got clearance there. That's about the position it wanted to sit without me bending anything. Ideally, you don't want to bend anything. There's no pulling or pushing on any of these pipes. Like I said, it's got a good clearance there. It's probably not 10 mil. It's close to 10 mil. It might be, well, it's down to about probably 8 just at that point there. You can have a look for yourself. But it's solid. It's not like I can't even push it across to hit that tank. This tank's solid. Don't forget to nip up your bolts nicely. So the ones they supplied, they screw straight in, straight down. That one, make sure you tighten it up before you tighten these up so it can pull in properly. Very difficult to get this in. It doesn't line up too well. Push down really hard on the top of the bracket here with a big flat blade screwdriver. While I got this started by hand, and you can see I wanted to use the big washer so it bends around the bracket. That's cool. So that's nice and tight. Then these are nice and tight. They've got their grease and oil. On the support bracket underneath the plate, I put a bit of old tire tube so that it's not metal rubbing on metal underneath. Here you've got to drill some holes, and you can see where you reuse this bracket for the air intake. The hole, it doesn't really tell you what you're meant to do, but that bracket wouldn't fit in between the two bolts. So what I did, I re-drilled another hole in that bracket, right? So there's the ones that go through the battery tray bracket are the standard holes, but I've re-drilled where I could, close as possible, to reuse this bolt hole for this bracket, and that's rock solid. It's not going anywhere. Tighten this one. They're all really tight. There's a big plate that came with it that's underneath. You won't see it because it's behind the guard liner underneath there. Let's just go and have a quick show you what I mean. It's up under behind. It's literally, there you go. It is in. See that big plate in there? Nice and tight. You might want to check those bolts every now and then. And of course, what I do, I put the proper square plugs back in, and they've got the, I'll show you how to release those. If you're ever doing a snorkel and you need to pop them out, you need to get to the corners. It's each opposite corner, but they're a double purpose. They clip the plastic in, but you can also put a bolt in them to bolt things to it, like mud flaps. So I put the bolt in, it makes it even stronger so this can't come out, because I want my vehicle 100% rock solid reliable. So basically anything you've drilled or modified, chuck some paint on it, let it dry. The copperies is good to help contact between different materials. Also, you could put some 243 Loctite instead, or as well as whatever. And also, once I'm all done, I sprayed that MX, what was it? MX4. The 3 is the standard stuff. So tighten that, then tighten those. These were tight and painted before it went on. That takes care of that. Those two holes, I drilled those two last, and then mucked around with this bracket going, what am I going to do? Am I going to drill a hole? I try to fit in between the two bolts. Doesn't fit between the two bolts. I went, well, is it going to go out or in or what? And I worked out that in, pushes it in here nice and snug, and it worked pretty well. I haven't got a battery in there yet, but as you can see, it should work out. That'll just push out of the way as required if needed. But I think we've got plenty of room in here, and I'll keep the battery sort of up this end away from the heat of the radiator hose. Batteries generally don't like heat. One of the most difficult parts, if you follow all this so far, just keep your clearance there. Make sure it's tight. It'll just, once you just follow where things want to go, Toyota, you have your Toyota brain on, not your El Cheapo battery tray brain. And what you'll do is you'll work out, when you put this, don't mount this before you check it out. This is what I did. So you drill out the 3 holes, put it in the vise, clamp it together, drill, center punch it, do your 3mm hole, do your 6mm hole. Then it didn't separate, so I just got my, little big flat blade in between and a bit of a tap to break it away. And then, this is what I'm talking about, that's what's left, right? So, where you drilled, if you're not quite center, you can see where it was just holding a little bit of rust in between. This is what you should have left over, by the way, about that many bolts. I used some of my own nuts and bolts. Some of theirs were left over. That's just gone into one of my kits. I've got plenty of those. But that's what we got left over, and keep that in case you ever want to reverse it all. You could just put nuts and bolts through there after you paint it all up, and same thing, you could reverse it. If you ever reverse it, paint those holes and all that sort of thing. But I'm really happy with how it's come up in the end. We've got clearance there. But see, there's 3 bolt holes I did, and yeah, it's all painted and it's all got the copper ease on it. But what I did the center hole first. So I estimated where I want it to go, because I don't want the big hose rubbing on, I didn't want that rubbing on the engine, and see how hard it is to push over, so I know it's not going to go there. I didn't want it rubbing on the belt pulley down here. There's a fair bit of room in between, and see, I can't even push it down there because this pipe here, right, is kind of, it's wrapped around it. It's really good. After a bit of heat, it's just going to all settle in. Here, I didn't want this one hitting on that hose there. You can see it's not going to. It's near it. Doesn't matter if it touches a bit, but I don't think it's going to. My point is, once I drill that hole, so I'm about center, halfway down across this bracket here, all right? Yeah, that distance and that distance, yeah, about the same, estimating. But the angle isn't bang on the same. So you drill the 1 hole in the middle, that center one at the front there, this one, and then you adjust your angle for what you want here, which is what I did. Then you lock that one up when you're happy. Then I put the drill through the other 2. Of course, then I cleaned it all up, vacuumed, compressed air, sprayed, painted everything, and then put all the bolts in there, which is why it's all painted and lubed. We don't want any rust. This is pretty rock solid. You can bend it up and down. See, the level's a little bit not quite right, but I'm not too fussed about that, because the more you bend it up, the more it pulls on these hoses, and it's probably okay. But I'm okay with where things are at the moment, because the old stiff hoses, what they'll do, they'll pull down on the old plastic, and you might end up breaking or creating a leak or something here at these joints. So you want to be careful with all of that. I reckon I've covered all the precautions of things you need to be careful of, all the things you need to do to make this tray work. I'm not recommending you go buy one. Like I said, I let them know that I wasn't happy with this kit, you know what I mean, the instructions, the bits and pieces, how that wasn't going to, because if you missed it, check the playlist on our 120 V6. I did this a little while ago. The video will be in the playlist. I pulled it all apart. I did all this except for drilling holes. It was fully reversible. I hadn't drilled anything out. And I cracked it. I think the video is called I Cracked It or something like that. Contacted them. They went straight for ignoring me. No customer service. They got their review. And they might get something else. But anyway, let's not worry about that. We'll just see what happens there. But I've made work of it, right? Few hundred dollars labour later and thinking, we've made it work. And it shouldn't be a matter of make it work. It should be really clear instructions like this. If I sold this product, I'd make a video, step by step, boom, 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 this is what you do. Not my product, not recommending it or them. Get another brand, but it might be the same sort of thing anyway, where you've got to make do and just make it work. You can make it work using the information I've just shared. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Next time you see it, there'll be a battery in there, and we'll start on the electrical. It might be on 4 before adventures, because it's getting toward being more an adventure than a diesel. 4 before diesel, it's petrol. Anyway, whatever. Hope it helps someone out. There's the video. Thanks for watching. Catch ya.